My beautiful souls, welcome into a daily read for Tuesday. I am truly struggling today. I cannot function, but we're beginning with some pre-pulled cards on the board, and the overall energy ends up being the Queen of Wands. So each of us throughout this Tuesday will feel some sort of, if not multiple, different forms of passion, all right? Coming to the surface, boiling up, you're maybe even creating some of which. And they're saying, let's put this to use. Let's make sure that you are feeling this passion being placed and utilized and even formed in the right places, all right? And I want to say that there is a focus upon blossoming. And I really feel like some of which drawn to this reading need to stop thinking back to the past with a sense of regret, all right? And if that's not for you, it's not for you. But it feels like Spirit is saying that maybe some of you have tried to, or actually did, put your foot down in regards to work or maybe a loved one. It could be, where you're living. But it feels like Spirit is saying that questioning things, regretting things, reliving things too much, not going to be healthy, not going to be the right choice at this time more than ever. But more realistically, more productively, let's again use that passion and create, develop throughout this day, communicate like a master, try to change your life for the better in the ways, or just simply change it in the ways that you know are doable at this time along your path and are simply meant to be, all right? But the Ten of Pentacles, to move on to the main part of the reading, with the Strength card on top of it in the sideways position. Now, what is this saying for you individually? It says that you're meant for a lot more than what's at hand. Please don't forget that. But I do feel it's a time for you where the Strength card in the sideways position says you feel stronger than some of the days recently, or maybe the recent past in general, but the strength isn't fully there. Does that make sense? I'm not saying your strength and ability to passionately get things done, accomplish change, you name it, but it's saying that you're feeling a little bit weak in certain ways or at certain points, or maybe just not feeling full in energy or full in life, all right? And so they're saying the life within. And so we're needing you to crave living life outside of you more so, maybe to hopefully up the energy within, to match the passion that I do feel is within you throughout this period, okay? But the Queen of Swords, another queen. So you will be feeling within your feminine energy, at least for the most part throughout this day, regardless of your gender. But I do feel, that somebody feeling like a spiritual entity is trying to F with your throat chakra, your voice of importance. Do not let that get in the way, all right? But it feels like this collective is somewhat in the energy of, I am prepared to make changes if need be. I am prepared to use the sword to defend, even if it's somebody else or a commitment of mine, if need be, And so they're saying defensiveness, that kind of preparation or being ready in a sense, also not the right choice, all right? But I do feel as if Spirit's saying you have been making the right choices and you need to remember this. I feel for one, if not multiple reasons, this collective sincerely needs that reminder, all right? That concrete, maybe confirmation of some sort. Now, as it does get a little bit windy, off the top of the deck blew the Eight of Pentacles. No coincidence, because I feel that Tuesday is meant to be a time for you to put in the work. You're meant to be feeling motivated to increase your success, to help other people, to make a difference within your world and other lives, other worlds. But I'm being drawn to, it's very interesting. First, it was a normal smiley face drawn on one of the grills here in the park. But then I look to its left and there are four of them. And the first one looks somewhat happy, a little bit sideways, a little crooked. And then the two in the middle following it are looking less happy. But then the last one looks like an ideal, kind of typical, perfect happy face. Well, it's not perfect, but you get the point. So I feel Spirit is saying that's sort of the transition, the development of your mood, your energy, your way of feeling and being, acting throughout this period. Interesting. But yeah, you're putting in the effort and you're meant to be throughout this period. But we want you to ask yourself or remember in certain simplistic ways, what brings more color back into my life? What brings more color back into my life? And so whatever that ends up being for you, let's make sure we're at least cutting out a little bit of time throughout this Tuesday to make sure that we are doing exactly that or something similar. But we're moving on to the last of the pre-pulled cards, the Ace of Swords, because I feel this collective craves clarification and better understanding. And yet again, it feels like a day where you need to remember it's not all coming in now or even maybe in the near future. But I do see you sort of looking at things in a very clear and realistic way or ways. And this may help you better understand something. Spirit may even say where you were maybe putting your foot down, or rather in general, otherwise you're starting to question things where you were feeling kind of iffy about what took place or what didn't take place. Anyways, they are saying that we may simply come through to help you better understand why things went the way they went or didn't go the way they didn't go. You know what I mean? It feels like you're needing to, more than ever, let it go, let it flow, because it feels like the energy is holding the potential more than ever of each of us taking even several days in the past or maybe a bit further back for some and dragging that into the energy field of this current day we're speaking upon, this Tuesday. And so they're saying, let it go, my friend, let it flow. I don't know if it was last night. I think it actually was, when it was honestly a very annoying shift for me, all right, for more than one reasoning. But I do remember Spirit coming through and saying, also sort of playing the song for me. And while that song was briefly kind of coming through, Spirit said, do you remember that song? It was almost as if I was saying it in a reading. Do you remember that song from Frozen, Let It Go, Let It Go? And so I feel that was applicable 1000% for me throughout that day, that shift. But now is coming through for you, for us, for this reading. Let it go, my friend. But we're moving on to the Star card. I feel you are carrying this very star-like quality, and people are very much remembering and noticing this clearly. But I feel there's at least one or two people from the recent days that are thinking back to you carrying yourself in a very strong way, maybe even a very affected way. And those could be different times, obviously. But they're saying regardless, it gave off this very star-like energy. They're saying this is nothing new for you being drawn to this reading, all right? But it also is connecting me back to the Ten of Pentacles here that we had on the board, where they're saying the Star card does take another message or set of messages saying dreams, goals, wishes. You deserve to believe in them. You deserve to make them come to be, to receive spiritual assistance and otherwise, to make sure, to guarantee that your life is better moving forward, right? More ideal. And so connecting these two says that your money has something to do with that. Your financial stability, your success in that sense, but your material wealth, your wealth as far as connections go. This is all really coming into play. It feels like Spirit is saying your pyramid is building up as we speak. Please don't fear that, all right? Please don't worry about that. And that should connect to the fact that, or connect back to the fact that you don't have to worry about your future. You shouldn't. And they're saying very clearly that your starlight quality is part of the reasoning why you were on your way to whatever this represents in multiple forms for you individually. But I do sense that Spirit is saying where there's confrontation, there's a tower moment in the future. I think you already to an extent feel this and or know this, but they want you to remember this when you're dealing with loud noise, bad energy, difficulty, bad managing, whatever it ends up being, okay? Concerning or annoying behavior is what I'm hearing. But let's wrap up this reading by saying this is a day to let go of the past, but to use it to your advantage potentially. But at the very least, knowing and feeling the fact that you're ultra passionate, at least for the most part throughout this day, using it to your advantage, all right? Making a difference where need be, again, in your life and others, and understanding and remembering that you have a lot ahead to be grateful for, but a lot to be grateful for now as well, right? Let's remember that. And let's move forward and make sure that we are embracing and remembering that our future is so damn bright, okay? So those are your messages for Tuesday. I hope they were truly helpful. As always, my beautiful souls, love and light. Do take care.